Are you an established small business owner or aspiring entrepreneur? Would you like professional advice to help your business grow and succeed? Well, look no further. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center is the territory's #1 resource to move your business forward. Enjoy no-cost advising, low-cost training, and technical assistance from experts in both the public and private sectors. The VI-SBDC is nationally accredited and sustained by the University of the Virgin Islands and the U.S. Small Business Administration. Visit us at our locations on St. Thomas, St. John, or St. Croix, and follow us on social media at VI-SBDC. For easy access to all our training and networking events, be sure to join our newsletter and download the VI-SBDC app. The Virgin Islands Small Business Development Center, here to help your business start, grow, and succeed.
Greetings on behalf of the entire VI-SBDC network. We welcome you to our first SBA webinar for the year 2026. Whether you are launching a brand new business venture this month or looking to scale an existing business, today's session is about one thing: access. The U.S. Small Business Administration, or the SBA, is often called the best kept secret in government, but in 2026, it's more accessible than ever. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on funding, mentoring, and contracting resources that can make your 2026 the most profitable year yet. Allow me to introduce today's lead presenter, SBA Senior Area Manager for the U.S. Virgin Islands, Mr. Wayne Huddleston. Here's a friendly reminder to put your questions in the chat, and they will be addressed by the presenting team either directly in the chat or later during our question and answer segment. A copy of today's presentation will be attached to the post-survey email sent after this live event. We encourage you to take a few minutes of your time to briefly fill out the survey that lets us know how we are doing. This data is essential to us rendering these deliverables complimentary to you. So without further ado, Wayne, the floor is yours.
All right, thank you for the introduction. Good morning, everyone. As Sharika mentioned, my name is Wayne Huddleston. I'm with SBA, and I want to say thank you to the SBDC for hosting this session this morning. This is a great way to kick off the new year by learning everything that SBA offers to help you start or grow your business. So I'm going to go off video for most of this presentation. My connection is a little weak this morning, so I just want to come on, say hello so you can see my face, but then otherwise I'm just going to have it focused on the slides here. So this morning, we're going to go over really a broad overview of all the SBA offers. I'm not going to go into a lot of detail on any part of this. However, if at any time during this presentation you have a question or something pops in your head, you can just raise your hand or somehow notify or come off mute. I'd be happy to answer that question, or if you want to wait till the end, there's going to be plenty of time at the end to answer any questions you have regarding anything related to SBA programs. All right, so we'll get started. The first thing I want to talk about is just the overall mission of SBA. Our entire goal is to make sure that small businesses can start, grow, and succeed in the United States. Because when small businesses grow, those end up being the next medium and large businesses. Small businesses are the lifeblood of our economy and help make the United States the most prosperous, business-friendly environment that the world has to offer. So that's our goal, is to make sure that you get access to capital, you get the tools and resources you need to grow. So I'm going to go into the broad areas that we have, or the tools that we have to help with that. The first is our access to capital programs. And the number one program in there that most people are aware of are what are called SBA loans. SBA loans are not direct loans from SBA to a small business owner. They are loans that are come from a lender. What we do in the process and what makes them SBA loans is we provide that lender a guarantee, anywhere from 50% up to 90%. We are essentially leveraging the good credit of the United States government to back loans for lenders to help make it easier for them to lend. So the vast majority of deals have some sort of risk in there for a lender. Depending on how much risk there is, the lender may have terms that are a little bit more expensive, or may even not even be able to do a loan at all. So we offer our guarantee to help them overcome those risks. We can't overcome all risks in a loan, but if there's some risk, a lender will typically turn to us, secure that guarantee, and then provide that loan to the business owner. And our guarantee can be used for just about anything you can imagine using a small business loan for. It can be for starting up a business. It can be for purchasing a business, or just purchasing inventory or land or a building, or just getting working capital. Just about anything it can be used for. There are a few things you can't use the guarantee for. I know here in the Virgin Islands, there is a push to legalize marijuana for sale. That is still illegal federally, so you could not use the guarantee for that. You cannot use a guarantee to purchase homes for real estate investment purposes. That's not to mean that you can't get loans for those purposes. You just can't get the guarantee from SBA on them. Lenders will still need to see that you have basic, that you're meeting their basic underwriting terms. And I do a whole presentation on this separately, and I'm not going to go into that level of detail, but in general, lenders are still looking that you're going to meet their 5 C's model, which is that you show that you have good character and that you're a good investment, that you have cash in the deal. They're not going to fund any deal for you 100%. They like to see collateral in a deal. They like to see your financial statements, your cash flow statements, your balance sheet, all those types of things to show what's been going on in your business for the past few years. And they're going to want to see the conditions of the marketplace, which is largely addressed with your business plan. The SBDC can help with all these, and you can have a deficiency in maybe one of these. Perhaps you're short on collateral, or you're short on some cash, and that's where the guarantee would come in. But if you are short on 2 or more of these, then you really should work with the SBDC to help improve your chances of securing a loan. All the lenders, all the major lenders here in the territory utilize SBA's guarantee. Bank of St. Croix, Merchants Bank, Popular, First Bank, Oriental, and even the Economic Development Authority will use our guarantee to get some deals done. However, there are also other tools you can use to help with that. So, well, I'm going to say real quickly before I get to that, the number one thing that most of the local lenders say are impediments to getting a deal done are those financial statements that I mentioned earlier. They want to see a good business plan. They want to see your expense sheets, other financial statements, and other projections. That's where the SBDC can help with that. And these are the number one obstacles local lenders say inhibit their ability to approve a loan. Now, outside of the local lenders, there are other options. We have a portal on our site called sba.gov/lendermatch. This tool essentially just connects you with lenders. You don't have to put in a lot of information. You put in some basic information about your business, describing your needs, what business you are, how much you make, what much you need, those types of things. Once you hit submit, that is immediately distributed to all lenders in our database who have expressed an interest in providing loans in the Virgin Islands. Within 2 days, they will respond, or not respond, one or the other. But you'll either get, within those 2 days, you'll get responses from lenders, or you'll get a response saying the lender replied. Most times, if you put a reasonable deal, a prospective deal into our system, you will get a reply from a lender. After that, we step out of the process. You just start connecting with your lenders and talking to them and go through their process to apply for a loan. Now, that's our primary program that we have that most people are familiar with. I do want to cover quickly just a few others that we have. We have a small business investment company program. These are for borrowers who, not necessarily borrowers, but people who are seeking investment and business owners who are seeking investment in their business. Not all businesses are appropriate for loans. Some are seeking investment from others. These are typically investors, though, that want to see a high rate of return, and they're typically not investing in your typical businesses. So, for instance, they're not going to be investing in restaurants or a transportation company or those types of things. They want to see something typically innovative that's going to scale significantly. If you have that type of business that you're either starting or plan to start, perhaps an SBIC might be the right route for you. You get more information about those and how to connect with them on our site. The next one, we do have a program called SBIR and STTR. These are primarily for businesses that are developing either an emerging technology or an emerging process that can assist a federal government agency in its mission. So federal agencies will put out grant opportunities to help them either, it could be in the energy sector to help them with storage capacity, or it could be in the military for some special purpose there, or nanotechnology, what have you. Federal agencies are always looking to invest in startups or businesses that can help address a need important to the federal government. They offer grants for these, and you can find more information about them on our site, SBIR and STTR. Just type that in, and you'll get more information. And then finally, with helping for access to capital is our surety bond program. This also comes up fairly regularly here in the Virgin Islands and applies primarily to contractors. Any contractor that's trying to bid on a contract with either the federal government or the local territorial government, especially if it comes with federal dollars behind it, will typically need a surety bond, especially for construction-related projects. The surety bond just provides assurance to the agency that is providing the contract that if you're for some reason unable to follow through or something happens, that they can be provided some assurance that either you can continue or they can continue elsewhere with this contract. We help in the bond process similar to how we help with the lending process. We provide guarantees to bond providers to expand the amount of capital you need to secure a bond. We also have a list of agents on our site. If you go to sba.gov and just look for surety bonds, you'll find a list of agents. You can filter by the territory, so you can select the Virgin Islands and get a full list and their contact information for surety bond agents that operate here in the territory. So those are our programs that help with access to capital. Another program is helping business owners connect with federal contracting. Federal government is the largest customer in the world. They purchase more than any other entity or country in the world. If you only have one customer, then the federal government should be your customer, because I know a lot of businesses who make a very profitable career servicing just the federal government. However, contracting with the federal government is not intuitive, and it's not as easy as just walking down the street and offering your services. These are federal dollars, so there has to be a lot of oversight and protections in place. There is a registration process to register in the system for award management. So our role in this process is to help connect contracting officers who are offering contracts locally to make sure they're using small businesses and local firms. We also help on your end too to help you better compete effectively for contracts. And the best way we do that is through our certifications program. We have a number of certifications to help small businesses. One is called A2A, which is more a technical assistance program, but comes with some benefits. Historically underutilized business zone is a zone where we identify areas of the country that are economically depressed in some ways. And so we incentivize businesses to be in those areas. And if they are in those areas and employ people from those areas, they get an extra incentive in the contract, or the contractors get an extra incentive to contract with those firms. All of the Virgin Islands is considered a hub zone. So if you are interested in federal contracting and you're here in the Virgin Islands, you should seek hub zone status as well, because it just essentially makes the process of awarding you a contract much easier for the contracting officer if you obtain that certification. There are also certifications for women-owned small businesses and service-disabled veteran small businesses, all of which federal agencies have goals to award a certain number of contracts to those. So if you have a service-disabled or a service-connected disability, or you're a women-owned business, you certainly want to make sure you get these certifications so that to let contracting officers know that you could help them reach their goals in these areas. And you can get more information on that on certified.sba.gov, although I think that is changing to certifications.sba.gov soon. Another program that can help with that in government contracting is the Apex Accelerator. This is technically not an SBA program. It has a different funding stream from the federal government. But their whole job, where we do a lot of things related to small business, the Apex Accelerator only works on federal contracting. They can help you with drafting your capability statements, assessing your ability to promote your services or products to the government, help you identify agencies that would be good fits for your product. They can help with all sorts of things and really dig in on the details of your business and your needs for federal contracting. So it's here in the Virgin Islands. You can learn more about them by visiting viapex.org. Third area that we help out in is helping people with exporting. While I said the federal government is the world's largest consumer of goods and services in the world, still nearly 96% of consumers live outside of the United States, and 2/3 of the world's purchasing power is in foreign countries. Here in the Virgin Islands, we're very close to foreign countries. So if you are interested in expanding outside our area, exporting your product or your service to other areas, please investigate our tools to help you with that. There are a lot of funding programs. If you are manufacturing a product here and intend to ship it out, we have loan programs that can help. Our highest guarantee, as I mentioned earlier, our guarantee goes from 50% up to 90%. That 90% guarantee is for loans that are helping businesses in exporting. We also had something called a state trade expansion program. If you would like to attend trade shows in foreign areas to promote your products, this program can help pay for that. We provide that funding to the Virgin Islands Economic Development Authority, and they provide step funding to local businesses every year to help them attend trade shows. And you can learn more information by visiting their site. We also have a dedicated export finance manager who is intimately familiar with all of our export financing programs here at SBA, but also has connections with commerce and other areas to help you connect on trade missions or in embassies in foreign countries to help you get your product where you want it to be. If you're interested in learning more about that, you can contact Sandro Murtas. He's in Florida, but he covers this area. That's his cell number right here and his email as well. He also does a presentation a couple of times a year for Virgin Island businesses who are interested in exporting and learning more about the tools available in his department. Another area is, and unfortunately a lot of people know SBA or first come in contact with the SBA is through our disaster programs. Of course, anytime there's a hurricane, whether it's Irma or Maria, or even during COVID, this is where SBA steps in to help to keep small businesses going. It's estimated 25% of businesses do not reopen after a major disaster, so our tools are to help reduce that number as much as possible and to help get businesses up and going quickly. If people are worried about their house or their employees are worried about their home situation, or you can't get your business up and running in some way because you need capital to bring in new transportation vehicles or something that may have been destroyed, we're here to help to get you that money quickly and much faster than a bank could. We have a lot of tools to help you prepare ahead of time for a disaster, but our primary tools are the economic injury disaster loans and the physical disaster loans for homes and personal property and real estate. As many of you are familiar, after storms, we send in a large team of people to come assess disaster damage and provide those loans. These are long-term, very long-term, 30 years, and typically 4% or less on the interest rate to help you get back in business and recover quickly. And then finally, our other area is the technical support we provide business owners directly. Whether you're thinking about starting a business or you've been in business for a long time and you're thinking about selling it or expanding down island or securing a multi-million-dollar loan you've never done before, we have technical service providers to help you. And the primary one here is the Small Business Development Center. Of course, you're here. Most of you know about that now because you're here in this presentation. But the SBDC has, here in the Virgin Islands, has offices on all three islands, St. John, St. Thomas, and St. Croix. Has well-trained staff that can help you with free business consulting, can offer free training, and can offer technical advice, whether you're just building out your business plan or applying for a loan and putting together a package, or assessing a new market and your ability to expand in that market or grow. They can help with all sorts of things. And I tell people, I've had businesses before and I've been successful. I've sold them. I've also been with SBA for many, many years. If I was starting a new business today, I would also make an appointment with the SBDC just to get some more objective feedback from someone who's not a family member or friend trying to tell me what I want to hear. So always recommend that you make an appointment with the SBDC if you're doing anything related to starting or growing your business and gather their support and advice. Another entity that is active here is called SCORE. This is a volunteer organization. They have a couple of mentors on St. Thomas. I believe they have one or will have one soon on St. Croix. These are volunteers who have typically been very successful business owners in their community or in their field, and usually they're retired or maybe they're still working, but they just want to volunteer their time to give back to their community and share their expertise to help others grow their business. You can get a lot of information on their site, usvi.score.org. They also have a lot of great templates and webinars that are on their site, templates for business plan, financial statements. And they also have a large cadre of mentors available. While there's only a few that are physically located here in the Virgin Islands, the SCORE chapter here is affiliated with the chapter in Broward County, Florida, which has many advisors and mentors up there that represent a wide variety of industries and expertise. Oftentimes, if you apply to or request a coaching session, they'll either match you with someone here or they can connect you with someone up in Florida who has deep expertise maybe in the area that you're talking about. So utilize them. Also, if you're a veteran, we have a Veteran Business Outreach Center. It is located in Puerto Rico, but they do online sessions. They will do virtual sessions for counseling, and they will come down and do workshops typically twice a year here in the islands on how to start and grow a business and the support that they can provide you. Very similar to what SBDC and SCORE provides, but directed specifically to veterans and family members. All right, I gave you this information already before. I think I went through each one. I should have done that through this as I was talking, but I'm going to provide this presentation to Sharika, and for everyone here, she'll be able to send that out, and you'll have all this information on places you can visit that I mentioned in the presentation. And then finally, we have a lot of information on our site, especially with technical support. We have what's called a learning center. You can get more information at sba.gov. You can look up our Learning Center. We have a lot of pre-recorded webinars and seminars there, templates as well. You can visit our website to get updates. The Virgin Islands office is affiliated with the Puerto Rico office, but we operate in the same. You can get information on there. Our resource guide is available online, which goes into more detail with all the programs I've been talking about. But if you have any question regarding SBA here in the Virgin Islands, the best way to get that information is to just email me. I am located here in the Virgin Islands. I'm on St. Croix, but I visit St. Thomas and St. John fairly regularly during the year as well. Best way to get in touch with me is through my email, wayne.huddleston@sba.gov. If you have any question related to SBA or our programs, just email me. And I can respond to you pretty quickly and sometimes connect you maybe with someone that can help you more in depth depending on what your needs are. All right, so these are in all our presentations now, and I put these up here to just make a point on something. We are a small agency, very small compared to other agencies in the federal government. However, we have a very large voice. There are many agencies within the federal government that are not nearly, or that are much, much larger than us and do not have a voice at the president's cabinet. SBA does. So if you have issues or you want to, for instance, we have a advocacy arm that advocates on federal programs that can inhibit growth for small businesses. While other agencies have these advocacy arms, they stay or they go within a big group and they don't necessarily go to the president's cabinet. However, our administrator does sit on that president's cabinet every meeting that they have, and it doesn't matter if it's Donald Trump or Biden or Obama or whoever it is, SBA sits on that cabinet. As I mentioned before, our local people are me here in the Virgin Islands. We have a district director in Puerto Rico named Ricardo Martinez, and we have a Region 2 administrator named Matthew Coleman. Matt just visited our territory for the first time last week, so he is we're much more familiar with the Virgin Islands and our needs and what we have down here. All of us are available anytime to help you with anything related to SBA or growing your small business. All right, that's all I have for this presentation. As I said, I want to keep it really short. I want to run through the bulk of this so that you have plenty of time to ask any questions. But by all means, I just want to leave you with this at the end. If you are at all thinking about starting a business or growing your business, please reach out to the SBDC. Please reach out to SBA. There are tools that can help you. So I know it can be daunting sometimes, but there are a lot of resources to make sure that you're successful in growing your business, or at least avoiding walking down a bad path if it's not going to be successful. We can help with that as well. So that's all I have, and I'll open it up to questions from here.
Alrighty, thank you for that, Wayne. So if you have a question that you want to ask directly, this is the time to go ahead and unmute your mic, and you can ask Wayne, or you can raise your hand, and then we'll make sure you get a chance. I don't have any questions in the chat, Wayne. So, okay, it's pretty quiet. So let me go ahead and just share some resources from the VI SBDC. So what I'm going to take you to is our new website, and we want you to be able to navigate and find our trainings. So here's the new website. You would select training, and you're going to see more information as it pertains to small business education. But when you hit sign up, this is where you get to preview our live events. Okay, so we already had today's session, and it's going to be available to you later on. And what you would do is go to the event type. You would select on demand. You will search, and then it will appear in this section, and you can always go back and watch at your leisure. So in regards to events that are coming up, we have our UVI ITS, and they're going to be presenting this Thursday on the phishing investigator spotting a fake in your inbox. So that's a session that's focused more on cybersecurity and technology. They will also be returning on the 29th to present on the ransomware survival guide, prevention, containment, and recovery. We have our SBA district office returning on February 3rd, and they're going to be talking about growing the USVI manufacturing sector with SBA resources. They will also come back on the 10th and focus on disaster preparation and mitigation for your business. On the 24th, they're focusing on financing solutions for exporters, and we want to provide emphasis for you guys to go ahead and sign up for a tax basics webinar. That's going to be in collaboration with our internal revenue bureau. So you can go ahead to the training portal, register for as many as you can, and you will be sent reminders as the time draws near. So let me go back to the webinar. I don't see any more questions, Wayne. So once again, the VI SBDC has so much more in store for you. You can visit our website, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, subscribe to the VI SBDC YouTube channel. And once again, thank you for your time and attendance. Wayne, it's always a pleasure collaborating with you on initiatives like this. And on behalf of the entire VI SBDC network, we wish you a productive rest of the day. Thank you, everyone.